Welcome back, True Seeker. Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. If Kobe Bryant were alive today, he would be 45 years old. He was born on this day in Philadelphia, August 23rd, 1978. And of course, his career has a lot of parallels with Michael Jordan. And again, Kobe might have turned 45, today. He already would have if he were still living. But Jordan wore that number 45 for a minute. We'll talk about the significance of 45 from Kobe's death, January 26, 2020, to what will be the 27-year anniversary of his first ever game in the NBA, which was November 3rd, 1996. That'll be the 27th anniversary this year of Kobe's debut. But from Kobe's death to that anniversary will be the 197th week since his death, which is the 45th prime number. And again, what I want to talk about in this video is the pattern of what happened to Daryl Dawkins, then Moses Malone, and then Kobe Bryant, and a pattern that could follow to Michael Jordan, who does have one clear distinction from those three men. But to rewind, Daryl Dawkins was the first player drafted out of high school by the NBA, the National Basketball Association. The very first basketball player drafted out of high school, though, was Moses Malone. He was drafted by the Utah Stars of the ABA. And Daryl Dawkins died, and then Moses Malone died just days later. They both died right before Kobe's last season, his retirement season, where he finished against Utah, like the state that drafted Moses Malone. And remember, Moses Malone had died at age 60. Kobe scored 60 in his last game. And Kobe, who emulated Jordan. Jordan right now is 60 years old. He turned 60 this year, February 17th, 2023. Jordan mostly known for wearing the number 23, of course. And anyhow, this parallel was 60. In Gematria, the name Malone equals 60. So does the name Daryl Dawkins. Daryl Dawkins died, then Moses Malone at age 60. Again, and then Kobe dropped 60 against Utah, and now here we are. It's going to be the fourth NBA season since the season of Kobe's death. Moses Malone died 4 seasons before Kobe. There's a pattern here with the number 4 and 60. And we just saw it recently. Donald Trump, the news that he was going to get the 4th indictment in Georgia, the 4th state, that happened on his 60th day of his age, leading up to the 60th election. The faces of Mount Rushmore, the 4 presidents, all 4 faces are 60 feet long. And what's interesting is in Gematria, if you spell out the word 4, F-O-U-R, it equals 60. Big relationship with these numbers. And it's biblical. Again, in Exodus 4, Moses, who gives us the 10 Commandments in the Bible, Moses, he doubts God, and God turns his staff into a snake. So there's a biblical connection with Moses and the snake in Exodus 4. And again, Kobe died 4 years after Moses Malone, who died before his retirement season. Also, that same biblical Moses, he sees the promised land from Jordan. So this is the thing about the 4 seasons gap. Moses to Kobe, 4 seasons. Kobe to the upcoming NBA season, where Jordan, if Jordan makes it to February 17th, he'll turn 61, and hopefully he does. But in addition to Jordan being 60, he was also 6-0 in finals. And he won his 4th NBA finals in 96, which was the year that Kobe entered the NBA. Technically, it was the season prior, but they both happened in 96. Jordan's 4th championship. Kobe enters the NBA in the draft right after the finals. But yeah, let's go back over the number parallels between Kobe and Jordan to appreciate this number thing more. And don't forget, the 4th book of the Bible is called Numbers, and supposedly Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible. That's why they're called the 5 books of Moses. And we all know with Moses Malone sweeping the Lakers in 83, the year Bear Bryant died on January 26th, the same day Kobe would eventually die on. 83, Jordan getting ready to make his transition to the NBA. But in that year, when Moses Malone won the finals, Kobe was 4 years old. And those finals started 60 days after Moses Malone's birthday, and they ended 281 days after Kobe's 4th birthday, where 281 is the 60th prime. So again, I'm talking about how deep this thing is, how it goes back. And just like how the 4th book of the Bible being called Numbers is biblical, the town of Philadelphia, where Kobe's from, where Jordan played his last game, also biblical. There's the letter to the church of Philadelphia in Revelation about the synagogue of Satan. And Satan fell to earth from the sky, and Kobe Bryant had the 666 workout and the career high 81 points in his 666th game, corresponding with his name gematria and a lot more. But yeah, let's again, since this is Kobe Bryant's birthday, tomorrow's Kobe Bryant Day in LA, 8/24. Funny enough, Tupac, the year that he died in the Super Ritual. Again, Tupac died on Caesar Borgia's birthday, and then they put out the Machiavelli album on November 5th, shortly after his death. And Machiavelli wrote The Prince, based on Caesar Borgia, who White Jesus is modeled after, and Tupac was a Black Jesus on the Machiavelli album when the real Machiavelli faked his death. And let's not forget, in 2016, Prince died, and Tupac's mom, the news of her death broke on the real Machiavelli's birthday, May 3rd. Again, if you look it up, she died May 2nd, but you won't find any headlines for May 2nd. You'll find all the headlines about Tupac's mom broke on May 3rd, the real Machiavelli's birthday, shortly after Prince's death on 4/21. For you. He said, I would die for you. Use the 21st letter. Prince dead on 4/21 on the Queen's birthday. Anyway, and that was in 2016, Kobe's last season, where Moses Malone died right before it, and Daryl Dawkins. So let's again go over the parallels between Jordan and Kobe. And then I want you to see, did you guys just see in the news the other day how they were showing the video of when Jordan was in Italy this summer? People were following him around making goat noises. I just saw this the other day on, ESPN. And then so I looked it up thinking that he had just been in Italy like within the last few days since they're bringing up the story. And then lo and behold, he was actually in Italy on July 6th. And we're going to go back and look at that too, why it matters so much that Jordan was in Italy July 6th. Because again, like I've been saying, all roads lead to Rome. Kobe was traveling from Catholic Mass to his daughter's basketball game when he died at age 41, crashing reportedly on the Pope's 41st day of his age. When Kobe Bryant in Gematria is 41. But again, he scored 60 in the last game, and the rest of his team scored 41. Just like how in his career high 81, Kobe Bean Bryant's 81. His career high 81, the rest of his team scored 41. 122 total points on 1/22 day. But okay, again, let's go over the parallels and then bring it to why it matters so much. Again, July 6th. So, Michael Jordan in Gematria, if you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers. Michael Jordan, using the alphabetic order, is 113. November 3rd will be the 27th anniversary of Kobe Bryant's debut in the NBA in 96, 2 days before the Tupac album came out. And Tupac's last interview, strangely enough, was on 8/24, what's now Kobe Bryant Day. But anyway, Michael Jordan, 113. Kobe Bryant, 113. Okay, and a big number in the NBA. We call it the 113 League in the Gematria community because they do so many rituals with this number. The National Basketball Association, 113. You see how the pandemic, the name of the pandemic, coronavirus pandemic's 113. Remember how the NBA locked down on March 11th, the 11th day of the 3rd month, the same day the pandemic was declared. And as we always talk about, it's the Jesuits syncing up these rituals who are from France, like Rudy Gobert, who was blamed on, of the Utah Jazz, the only team in the NBA whose full name equals 113, Utah Jazz, 113. Jordan beat him twice. Kobe finished against him. It's the state where the Moses Malone connection is. But 113 is also the 30th prime number, like there's 30 teams in the NBA, and there is one city. So there's one other team that has a 113 connection. That's Dallas. If you go look at the box scores from the day the NBA locked down March 11, 2020, you'll see Dallas played their game that day, scoring 113 points. Anyway, coming back to the values, 113, November 3rd. We're going to get to all the reasons that date's so interesting this year. Michael Jordan, 59, with the alphabetic order and numerology. and 76 in reverse with the alphabetical order and numerology. And again, he was in Italy on July 6th this year, 7-6. Notice how all of these words equal 59 and 76. Slave, Negro, blues, Rasta. They're all 5976. And again, Ephesians 6, the verses 5 through 9 are the most infamous verses in the Bible about slavery. And then Acts 7-6 is about the prophecy after 400 years of slavery. And just for the record, Barack Obama's 76. He was the 44th president. He's connected to Chicago like Jordan, which is in the land of Lincoln, which has to do with slavery and history. But Barack Obama is 76. Black History Month has been recognized by the federal government since 76. Acts, again, is the 44th book. Acts 7-6, slavery, prophecy, Obama, Barack Obama, 76, the 44th president, elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. Again, I'm trying to paint the bigger picture about these numbers and how you can see how the rituals are coming from high places. The federal government in 76 begins recognizing Black History Month. And for the record, they did it on February 10th. They didn't start at the beginning of the month. They started on 10/2, like slavery's 102, like the American Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. You might see the 30 with the slavery going with the 30 teams. But again, Jordan has these numbers, 59-76. And if you pay attention, each year they're doing rituals in the NBA leading into Jordan's birthday. 2 years ago, we saw the Bulls were 19-8 at home, and they had 4 straight home games. And we said, look, if they win 4 straight, they're going to be 23-8 going into Jordan's birthday. And think about Kobe and Jordan, right? 23-8. Today is Kobe's birthday, the 23rd day of the 8th month, the first day of Virgo. At least this year it is. But yes, just more throughout history. Black History Month is February, the month that ends on the 59th day of the year. Motown in 59. Another cipher that's important is just multiplying the alphabetic order times 6, called Sumerian gematria. You see how Michael Jordan becomes 678, just like Kobe Bryant does, because he's 113. Just multiplying the alphabetic order times 6, 678. I want you to go back to the day that Kobe played his last game against Utah, scoring 60. Remember, Jordan's last game was in Philadelphia, Kobe's hometown. And from Jordan's last game to Kobe's last game is exactly 678 weeks later. Perfectly, 678 weeks. And Kobe's father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. And during Kobe's last game, he was playing Utah, and the Warriors were eclipsing Michael Jordan's 72-win season, getting their 73rd win of the year. Curry's born on the 73rd day of the year. Del Curry, in Jordan's record season where they won 72 games, his 73rd game of that year was against, the Charlotte team that he now runs. And Del Curry faced Jordan in his 73rd game that year. So Steph Curry's father played Jordan in the 73rd game of the season for the Bulls, only for his son to eventually eclipse Jordan. But in the game where they eclipsed Jordan, which was also the day of Kobe's last game, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson set an NBA record combining for 678 three-pointers made in a season. The same day that Kobe finished exactly 678 weeks after Jordan. And look, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, record 678 three-pointers made in a season. It should pull it up right here. Curry had 402 and Thompson had 276. 276 is actually the 23rd triangular number. Like today's 276 days after Biden's birthday. And it's a whole other topic. But here we are on the 23rd. But added up, that's 678. And right here, 678, the record. Again, they did that the day Kobe retired. And Jordan's last NBA game, April 16th, 2013. Kobe's last game, which was April 13th, 2016. Let's just get it up here, though. Kobe's last game, April 13th. It was on that day. Here we go. April 13th, 2016. So let's measure from Jordan to Kobe. April 16th, And don't forget, April 16th is the 106th day of the year. Another number in Black history. 106 in Park on BET. The word black, when you run the alphabetic order in verse, is 106. Black Power Forwards is 106. Black Lives Matter is 106 in reverse with numerology. But lots, when Obama put out his book, A Promised Land, which equals 59 and 76, like slave, he put it out on the day leaving 44 days left in the year. But he also put it out 106 days after his birthday. Anyhow, April 16th, 2003, Jordan's last year, 2003, right? A bit like 23. Number 23. Here we are in 2023. To Kobe's last game, April 13th, 2016. 678 weeks on the nose, right? We've been talking about this since 2016, just how connected Kobe and Jordan are. So many connections between these two. And could it even end fatally? Because, again, just coincidental deaths, right? It's just like 3 of the first 5 presidents died on 7/4. Adams and Jefferson died the same day in 1826, and then 1826 days later, Monroe died on 7/4. And we know why. It goes back to the Jesuits, too. The Jefferson and Adams were worried about the Jesuit suppression ending, and they both die on about the most Roman killing day of the year there is, 74 day. Like how Kobe died in the 74th NBA season, and Moses Malone was drafted in 74, and Jordan's father was found on the side of Interstate 74, murdered. Crossing with Route 95 when the Jesuits were credited to counter the 95 Theses, and Sirius equals 95, and Sirius is important to the Jesuits, and the Bulls' big theme song that they came out to was called Sirius. But yeah, 678. I didn't make that big enough. Again, from Jordan's last game to Kobe's, 678. Both of their names, 678 in Sumerian gematria. You know, just like Utah Jazz, who Kobe finished against. You know, his retirement poem, Dear Basketball, same thing, 113, 678. Okay, so now next lesson. Why it was so important that Jordan was in Italy on July 6th. 201 days after the Pope's birthday. Every year I'm talking about July 6th and these 201 rituals that they're doing with the Pope. And this year Jordan's in Italy where the Pope is. Now, notice, there's only one team in the NBA that has a 201 connection. And I'm tripping. That's the old team. It's the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets is 201, okay? If you're new here, 201 is such an important number to the Jesuit history and the founding of the Illuminati by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. And it's so important to so many things. By following this number pattern, you can see what's really going on in the world and what the Illuminati truly controls, which includes the NBA and the United States of America. And if you doubt that, you must be brand new here. I know that's a big statement if you're brand new, but I'm showing I'm literally showing every day the latest 201. And why? Look, here's how big it is, you guys. Joe Biden, 64, right? When Hawaii was overthrown by the Americans, it was called the Committee of 13 that overthrew Hawaii. And now Hawaii burns 13 days before its 64th birthday, and Joe Biden waits until the 64th birthday to show up. Now, Joe Biden became a Joe Biden was born exactly 201 months before Hawaii was. 200 months in one day, actually. 201 and 1. And if you're new here, always educating about 201 in the Oval Office. Joe Biden sacrificed his son, Beau Biden, 201 days before the Pope's birthday. In this case, Jordan's in Italy 201 days after the Pope's birthday. Here's what it is about 201. The Jesuit order is 201. The Pope's birth name, he's the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, when spelled correctly, is 201. He's the first Pope to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican, called the Domus Sanctae Martyr, 201. And you look up the building that Pope was built in tribute to. He ended up dying on July 20th, the 201st day of the year, Pope Leo. And again, Adam Weishaupt founded the Order of Illuminati, which is 201, and he died in history 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. Event 201 was the pandemic simulation, and then Kobe died shortly after that and was buried in Corona del Mar. And then from his last birthday, August 23rd, to the day the pandemic was declared, March 11th, was 201 days later. So many 201s. I mean, that's like a grain of salt in a giant jar of salt for the 201s. But the point is, this number is massive. And now Jordan is connected to the only franchise in the NBA that's 201, and he's in Italy 201 days after the Pope's birthday, again on July 6th. So, again, the story. Oh, by the way, we'll talk more about July 6th, but also on Jordan's birthday, or excuse me, not Jordan's birthday, but the 27th anniversary of Kobe's NBA debut on 113. The Bulls just happened to be playing Brooklyn that day. Jordan was born in Brooklyn. That's why every year you just pay attention. There's some games that you're just like, oh, I totally see what they're doing with this. The numbers line up, the date narrative lines up. It's just like free money. And there's something to be said about Jordan's Italian wife being 44 and the day she's born, of course, the 85th day of the year, the big basketball number, like why the first March Madness was an 85 plus 263, fateful day. Kobe's first shoe after his death was put out on that day. Eazy-E died 201 days after his birthday on that day after the Lethal Injection album. 201 men in the control group in the Tuskegee experiment. But big number here, 201. MLK's assassination and the first gun control 201 days later. MLK killed on 4/4, a fateful number. Again, Jordan's wife just turned 44. You know, she's from Cuba, out where Jesuit Castro used to roll, who got 86th in the ritual sync with the Pope. And by the same pattern, his son was 86th. But yeah, July 6th was the date they were spotted. Jordan and the Italian wife. And again, the wives can be faithful. 38, the big death number. Kobe died exactly 38 weeks after his wife. And again, he had the affair in Colorado, the 38th state that won the championship this year after LeBron's huge 38 ritual on the 38th day of the year. And that's how old LeBron is right now. LeBron's going to be 38 until the very end of the year. His birthday is December 30th. He'll turn 39 at the end of the year. But that's the other thing to think about, which is like the trifecta of the comparisons between Jordan and Kobe and LeBron. I mean, that's always the conversation in the modern era of basketball. Who's the GOAT? It's one of those three. And just the other day, video of people falling around Jordan making GOAT noises. That news actually broke on August 21st, 2 days ago. 218, like Holy Roman Empire's 218, like it supposedly folded August 6th, 1806, the 218th day of the year. And yeah, just right before Kobe, too. The one other concern I'd say for Jordan right now, while he's age 60, in light of the pattern with the past basketball players, is that the other big man, if there's a bigger name than Jordan in Chicago, and it's funny how it's an if, right? Because we're talking about a basketball player versus the man who's supposed to be the man for the country. But if there's a bigger name in Chicago living at this moment than Michael Jordan, it is Barack Obama, who just turned 62, right? And that's another big number with Jordan's career. Remember, Jordan's got that 62 in his name. See how Jordan's also 26 and 37, just like Bryant is 26 and 37, and Kobe died on the 26th day of the year on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant. Plus, Kobe died at age 41 on his 157th day of his age, and 157 is the 37th prime. But Jordan's got that 62. Obama just turned 62 on August 4th. And remember what just happened in Hawaii 4 days after Obama's birthday. 4 years after Dora the Explorer concluded. Again, 4, this number of death and destruction, like the gaps of 4 between Moses and Daryl, Kobe, and now Jordan. All sharing the connection through basketball and connected through the city of Philadelphia. The only thing is Jordan went to college. The other ones are all out of high school. It's the one difference. And Kobe was the 4th player drafted into the NBA from high school. 5th total pro basketball player because of Moses Malone, but the 4th into the NBA. And remember, he dropped to 4th in points scored when LeBron passed him that year in Kobe's hometown. And then LeBron won on the real King James's birthday that year. And then coming to the Lakers, he won them their 17th championship in his 17th season. In the season that Kobe died, getting his 4th championship, getting to 4-6 right before Biden became number 46 in the election, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. When the prior election cycle, Cleveland won the championship. Then Trump had his convention in their stadium and won the presidency. All in the big Jesuit script from the Oval Office to the basketball court. But yeah, Obama's 62, again, Hawaii. 62 is a number that's connected to weather warfare, as I wrote about in my book, Letters and Numbers. And again, Obama, Kanye, November 08, big month for both of them. Obama becomes president-elect. Kanye puts out 808s and Heartbreak in 08. And Hawaii's got the 8 big islands. And Hawaii's the 808 area code. And Hawaii was actually made the 808 area code on August 8th. And Hawaii is the 50th state. And in the week of hip-hop's 50th birthday, Hawaii burned up when Hawaii is not far from Japan, where the Roland 808 is from, the drum machine that made hip-hop music in the early days, the thing used to make the beats, the 808 out of Japan. And then again, Kanye has the connection through Chicago, which has the Great Fire, which began at the address 137, and Hawaii is made out of 137 total islands. And then Jay-Z and Kanye are connected. And Jay-Z's first music video is Hawaiian Sophie, where he gets yanked up off the screen with ropes near his neck at the 50-second mark. Check it out for yourself. And again, Jay-Z's got that Gematria 62. Hawaii burned on Kanye's 62nd day of his age. Right after Obama's 62nd birthday, the mayor born in 62, the brand new mayor in Maui, the Rock's character that he's playing, how it's all synced up with the Rock, who's got the 62, the Fire and Fury book, the coincidental book that talks about Maui burning up that came out right at the time of the fires. Fire and Fury 62 again. Big thing with that. The 62, and remember, 62 is a number of sacrifice too, right? Sacrifice is 62, just like Torah. The first 5 books of Moses are called the Torah. In the Torah, Moses sees the promised land from Jordan. It's all these little storylines. And remember, Obama's book, A Promised Land. He's got the Chicago connection like Jordan. 5976, which we talked about. But he put that out on the day leaving 44 days left in the year, the prophecy of 400 years of slavery, and then that nation gets punished. That's an axe. And again, you just look at what's going on in the world right now, because August 29th is when we hit the 400 years of slavery in America, and then it was COVID right after that, and then racial wars breaking out, and crazy climate stuff right now, and unprecedented fires that just burn up a town, a historic town like Lahaina, the old capital, in seconds. I mean, again, you got to look at all this isn't a coincidence. This is a sick scheme, an order that uses the Bible like a playbook, and again is really playing the world for fools. So again, that's what I'm trying to get people to see, the way this game is being played, and hopefully Michael Jordan doesn't become the next by the numbers at age 60, which it could happen as soon as. I'd like to think he's going to live to be older than that, But, there's a lot of signs. Everything that we talked about, plus just them putting out that film earlier this year. They put out that film earlier this year. Let me pull up that film they put out earlier this year. The one about how Nike built its brand on Jordan. They put that out on April 5th. April 5th, the 95th day of the year, like how his father was found at the intersection of, Route 74 and 95. Happened on the 23rd of July, happened 33 days after he won his 3rd NBA Finals. But US 7 and Interstate 95. Again, the Jesuits created to counter the 95 Theses. And the 74 thing. Kobe in the 74th NBA season, Moses Malone drafted in 74. Killing number. The word killing is 74. The word gematria is 74. There's that song, Gematria, the killing name, fateful number. But the movie came out April 5th, the 95th day of the year. And from that day to November 3rd, it's 212 days later. That's Chicago Bulls, 2-1-2. They did a big ritual of Jimmy Butler advancing through the Bulls in the NBA play-in game. People think Jimmy Buckets might be an offspring of Michael, which seems entirely possible to me. I see a lot of resemblances, stature, everything. And again, just the rituals. The last dance comes out on the first day of Taurus, the bull, which is a very special day to the Jesuits as well. It's the day Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general, April 19th, which is why you had the 95 Oklahoma City bombing in a huge Jesuit ritual and a massive 201 ritual blamed on Timothy McVeigh and even synced up with Joe Biden back then because he had the anti-terrorism legislation right before that happened. But anyway, the very next year, after the 1 year anniversary of The Last Dance, Scottie Pippen, who's on the cover right there with Jordan, his son dies at age 33 when Pippen wore 33. Bulls in Gematria equals 33. Taurus is the bull, April 19th when it begins. On the first day of Taurus, Pippen's son dies at 33. Remember, in Gematria, Michael also equals 33, his teammate. And again, Michael lost his father 33 days after his third championship in the NBA Finals. NBA Finals is 33, like Michael as well. But yeah, just again, there's something to the Tupac death as well. And, you know, that album with him on the cross, like Jesus, coming out 2 days after Kobe's debut in light of the way Kobe ended up getting crucified. Getting crucified has got that gematria of 41 like Kobe Bryant. Kobe dead at 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. Just think about it. And now Jordan in Italy 201 days after the Pope's birthday on July 6th. And again, if you don't know, Pope Francis' birthday is December 17th. The first day is Saturnalia. And December 17th, 2022 to the day Jordan was in Italy, July 6th, 2023. 201 days later. And again, like we went over, his birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. The founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, 201. The Jesuit Order, 201. Order of Illuminati, 201. Only one team in the NBA with a 201 connection, the team that Jordan's in charge of, the Charlotte Hornets. Just talking about the stuff they do year after year on this date. Let me check one more thing about Jordan's wife. Again, she's 44 years old. Yvette Prieto. And I'm going to have to go back and remind you guys what they did with Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, right after Pope Francis became Pope. So Jordan's already done better than him because Gandolfini didn't make it back from his vacation to Italy. But, you know, Chicago's got that gangster history too. Valentine's Day Massacre, 45th day of the year. Big ritual number. Oh, yeah, for the record, the word holy equals 60 in light of all the biblical connections. Jordan is someone who's treated like a god. I think I forgot to finish making that point about how Jordan's 26 and 37, and so is God. Well, God's 26 and Bryant's 26 and 37. The word for Godhead, well, the word for God in Hebrew, the four-letter name of God, the tetragrammaton is 26 in Hebrew. The word for Godhead in Hebrew, which is slightly different but related, is 26 and 37 in Hebrew. And again, Bryant, Jordan, 26, 37. And both men worshipped as gods. You know, athletes are treated as gods, especially on the stature that Jordan and Bryant are. And you see how God's 17, so is Moses, NBA. Moses Malone died 17 days after Daryl Dawkins. Again, just big number with the NBA. LeBron winning his 17th championship, or the Lakers' 17th championship in his 17th season, and the season of Kobe's death, which is connected to Moses Malone, which is biblical, like King James. The nickname for LeBron is like King James is in the King James Bible. And remember, Moses Malone in Gematria, 41 forwards, 58 in reverse, just like Kobe Bryant, 41, 58. The real King James died at age 58. Unexpectedly, biblical's 58. Moses, the staff, the snake, Moses seeing the promised land from Jordan. The 60 thing, Holy Bible. Of course, Holy also got the 24. Jordan will be 24 until February. Well, Jordan will be 60 until into the year 2024 until his birthday, February 17th, which is the 48th day of the year. Let me see. I think this is the James Gandolfini post I want to pull up. His full name, James Gandolfini's got that 129, which is 201 in base 8 counting. But here's what I want you to see. I think this is the right post. All right. I actually got the wrong post linked here. But you see how James Gandolfini's 266? Remember, the Jesuit motto, Isus hominum salvator, in the same cipher is 266. Pope Francis is the 266th Pope. And the day James Gandolfini died, we'll just recreate the post. James Gandolfini died on June 19th, 2013. That is the real King James's birthday. But that was the year Pope Francis became Pope. So June 19th, 2013, Pope Francis became Pope on March 13th, 2013. And notice, James Gandolfini, he died 98 days later, or you could say he died on the 99th day of the Pope being the Pope. Now, remember, The Sopranos on HBO, which is totally Jesuit network, which you'll catch on to by knowing this knowledge, because you'll see the rituals they do with their shows and what they insert and the day episodes release, just rampant with HBO. But look at Sopranos. Sopranos is 99, like how the show began in 99, and then the main character dies on the 99th day of the Pope being in office. Think about that. And again, just the fact that James Gandolfini is 266. Frank Vincent from The Sopranos died on 13/9, synced up with The Sopranos. James Gandolfini's death. Frank Vincent's another actor. But James Gandolfini's got that 266, right? And again, the Jesuit motto, Isus hominum salvator, also has the 266. Pope Francis I, Jesuit, the 266th, who spoke in Washington, D.C., September 23rd, 2015, the 266th day of the year. And Gandolfini, he's got the 6786 in his name, just like blood sacrifice and human sacrifice. Italy also has the 67. And Jordan was in Italy on the date can be written 7/6, July 6th. It can also be written 6/7. So, okay, let me see. From Jordan's birthday to that November 3rd date, it's going to be 37 weeks. Again, Jordan and Bryant, 37. Number related to God. Chicago and Los Angeles both equal 37 as well. Again, Kobe died on his 157th day of his age, the 37th prime number. But yeah, as we see, outcomes in the games by the numbers, and then outcomes in life. And so often these athletes, their lives cut short. And it seems like there is something to having your life cut short. Seems to add more market appeal to your name, more money to be made. And again, could Jordan follow this pattern? He's still relatively young, 60 years old, MJ. But yeah, I hope not. I hope that is not the case. It's just, if it does happen, it's just further proof of what happened to Daryl Dawkins, Moses Malone, and Kobe. And again, for people to already not understand that, that's the problem, really. It's like, do we even need any more proof? I mean, it's pretty damn obvious what they're doing. And yeah, it's just like, is that what people need to see? They need to see Michael Jordan go too. They need to say one more go. How many more got to go? And of course, there's so many other names besides just the ones we're talking about in this video. Talk about all the Baltimore Ravens that have had their lives cut short this offseason. And a real fateful offseason for Baltimore Ravens and, Barack Obama's chef and a lot of other people. Just stories that don't make sense left and right. And remember, Jordan, I mean, this is already part of his life, right? It's already part of his life. Michael Jordan, his father. What happened with him? Many years ago. In fact, 30 years ago. In fact, in 93. And you know what? Let's actually close out with that point. Again, Jordan's father. Here, I want you to see this about Michael Jordan's father. His death is in my first book. James Raymond Jordan Sr. See how his full name's 237, and that's the day he died on? The 23rd day of the 7th month, 237. Again, that's in my first book, Letters and Numbers. And Again, that happened in 93. And now here we are 30 years later. 30 years later. Remember, Saturn is 93. Saturn's symbol, the Grim Reaper scythe, comes from the sickle of Saturn and Saturn's symbol. So there's a relation with Saturn and the Grim Reaper. Saturn's related to time and death and judgment. Has other qualities too, but that's one of the things. So Saturn has this connection with the Grim Reaper. And Saturn has a return every 30 years. Every 30 years. It's 30 years since his father went in July 23rd. Again, Bulls 33 like Michael. Michael had just won his third NBA Finals, and then 33 days later, his father dead. And 33 and 74, just like how Jesus is 74, like cross, like Messiah, like gospel, like parables. These numbers come together a lot, 74 and 33. Kobe 33 in the NBA's 74th season. Let me measure a couple more dates. I want to measure from the anniversary of his father's death, which is 30 years ago, but I just want to see what it is from July 6th to November 3rd, just in case they... I mean, it would be so blatant if they did with the Bulls playing Jordan's hometown, Brooklyn. It's 101 days later, which is interesting. It's a span of 101 or it's 100 days later. It's 3 months and 8 days. I want to see, let's see, Wizards box score, April 16th, 2003, 87-107. Wizards had 37 wins that year, 45 losses. There's things I could say about that score, but anyway, it's just more. So we'll skip that part. Anyhow, March 26th, the wife's death. That's the one other date duration I want to check here. The 101 spans a Philadelphia number, and it's just like Kobe's last game. He scored 60. The rest of his team scored 41. 101 is the 26 prime. So that's the connection with from his father's death. Hold on. What did I just do? Oh, that's interesting. But hold on. The father's death anniversary first. Oh, hold on. I made some kind of mistake. My bad. Actually, from the father's death anniversary to November 3rd is 103 days, the 27th prime number. 3 months and 11 days. And then from the wife's birthday, March 26th to November 3rd is 222 days later, a total span of 223 in the year 2023. And that thing with all things tracing back to Philly and Kobe, or Kobe's from Philly, of course, but Michael playing his last game against Philly. Philadelphia's got the 101, like we just talked about, also the 223. 223. And remember, the synagogue of Satan is 223. The letter written to the Church of Philadelphia in Revelation about the synagogue of Satan, which begins in Revelation 3:7. Again, that 37 thing again. It's 37 weeks from Jordan's birthday. So, yeah, I'm sure the ritual will at the very least play out in the NBA. And you know what else? You know what else, actually? You know what else? Brooklyn, New York is 223 because the Bulls are playing Brooklyn, New York that day. Etsy out of Brooklyn, New York banned my book on the 74th day of the year without explanation. A book that had over 500 reviews, over 500 5-star reviews. It had like 2 or 3 reviews that weren't 5 stars. Really positive reviewed book. No reason to ban it. Banned it on the 74th day of the year. Book about Gematria 74. But okay, that's interesting. The 223rd day of the Italian wife's age, who's 44. Huh. Okay. Yeah, no, November 3rd, I mean, If they did it that day, we would all understand why in this community. It would shock the world, but we would get it. Oh, hold on. I was saying it was 103 days from his dad's death anniversary, right? Let's double check that one more time. And I was saying that's the 27th prime. Yeah, 103 is the 27th prime. And again, it's going to be the 27-year anniversary of Kobe's NBA debut. Kobe's 27th anniversary of his debut. See how Rituals 27 and 45? 27, 45. Think of, again, it's going to be the 197th week since Kobe's death, the 45th prime. Jordan wore 45 for a bit. You see how Berlin Wall's got the 45? Donald Trump was called the 45th president-elect on the 27th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Numbers that just come together in big rituals, big names, big storylines, history book moments. Jordan's in there. Kobe's in there. You're probably not in there. You know, you're reading those books. Michael Jordan and his family are enjoying a holiday abroad, July 6, 2023. The NBA legend, 60, was recently photographed taking a boat tour off the coast of Sicily with his wife, Yvette Prieto, and their 9-year-old twin daughters. Hold on. Let's see if there's any more information on Yvette Prieto. I'm actually curious about who she is. She has a Wikipedia page. She's an American model. She has modeled for designer Alexander Wang, something like that, and appeared in the documentary Cuba, an Island Apart as herself. Well, here they have her at 45 years old. Interesting. Here they have her born the same year as Kobe. Yvette dated Julio Iglesias Jr. in the early 2000s, back when Jordan was finishing his career. In addition to modeling, she worked for her parents' company at a hospital and in real estate. Yvette met basketball legend Michael Jordan while at a Miami nightclub in 2008. He's scouting out his future for Jimmy. They moved in together in 2009 and were engaged over Christmas in 2011. Can't get more Catholic than Christmas. Prieto married Jordan on April 27th. That's the 117th day of the year in 2013. So they just had their 10th anniversary at the Episcopal Church of Bethesda by the Sea. Her wedding gown was designed by Ton Couture. I don't know. Celebrities Usher and Robin Thicke sang at the reception. She gave birth to twin daughters on February 9th, 2014. Yvette is stepmother to Jordan's 3 children from his previous marriage to Juanita Vanoy. Yvette's brother, Carlos Prieto, runs a sneaker store in Miami. Okay. Just out of curiosity from the anniversary of their wedding, because sometimes when we see these suspicious deaths, we see how it all lined up with seemingly when they got with this couple. The wedding date to the wedding anniversary, the 10-year anniversary to the day is 190 days later, or a span of 191. The 6 months and 7 days stands out. The 27 weeks stands out. If you did the full span, it'd be 191, like Society of Jesus. Society of Jesus has that 191 and 187. And from the release date, let me see, from the release date of the film on April 5th to that day, the anniversary game, I believe that is a total span of 180. Or no, it's not. Oh, we covered the 213. That's like LA area code, and 212 like Chicago Bulls. I'm forgetting something. There was something with Oh, I know what I was thinking about with 187, actually. I know what it is. July 6th, the day that Jordan was just in Italy. That's the 187th day of the year. Jordan was in Italy on the 187th day. And then the thing about the goat noises was on 21/8. Holy Roman Empire's got that 187 and 218. Big number. This nation with all the Roman architecture in the capital, Washington, D.C., 187, like George Washington. Big number. So And just with regards to the Jesuits, you guys, just think about this right here. We'll just take it down to one cipher. Well, this will be our closing thought right here. Jordan with his 6 championships: Nike, Saturn, and Jesuit. Notice how all of those words have gematria 21. And if you don't know, Saturn's ring is what Nike's swoosh is. It's a ring of Saturn. And 21 is the 6th triangular number. If you had 1 through 6 together, it equals 21. Saturn's the 6th planet. Jordan won 6 championships. The first Jesuit pope, Pope Francis, he just happens to have the December 17th Saturnalia birthday, ancient Roman festival to celebrate Saturn. And every year they're doing huge Saturn things on his birthday. Remember what they did last year in the NFL? The first game on Saturnalia was with the new Colts coach Jeff Saturday. On a Saturday, the game fell on. It was the first Saturday game of the season. It was that crazy game between the Vikings and the Colts. And for years, we talked about how they're the teams with the strong Saturn connections. Remember, Saturn also equals 93. Like Jordan's father died. Minneapolis is on the 93rd meridian. Both Minnesota Vikings and Indianapolis Colts have the 93 gematria. But anyway, that's why you got to learn the different ciphers and see how they do the rituals, and you'll see how they come together with the dates year in and year out. But 21 has the relationship with 6, Saturn, which goes with his father's death. And again, the return of Saturn is 30 years. Again, look up Saturn's 30-year return. It begins in your 27th year of life and ends in your 30th year of life. Say the full thing is 29 and a half years, which again is in your 30th year of life. And it probably has a lot to do with the Bible and why the story of Jesus picks back up at age 30. So yeah, there's a lot of things out there on Saturn's return. And some of these things online are like the hopeful side and the money-making side and the positive. And that's nice, but also look into the dark occult side of these things and why you see so many of the patterns that persist in society. There is also something just really mean about the number 30 in terms of racism with this code. Because again, I just want you to look at some of these 30 words. Tuskegee, 30, right? Slavery, 30. Interestingly enough, Martin is 30 and Malcolm X. Both men assassinated age 39, biblical number 39 books in the Old Testament. And you see how Malcolm X is 93 and so is Martin Luther King Jr.? They only met one time in history on March 26th, 64, 3 plus 26 plus 64, 93 date numerology. Again, connected to Kobe's shoe coming out after his death, Kobe's shoe after his death, Eazy-E's death. Now Jordan's wife's, that's her birthday. You know, but anyway, MLK and Malcolm X only met on that day in history, March 26, 64, which is a date with 93 numerology. They both died age 39, assassinated in 44 rituals. But yeah, like even the N-word is 30, you know, and it's also 60 with all these black men dead at age 60. And then there's this argument that Nigeria, which kind of sounds like the N-word, is really where the biblical Egypt was. Some people say that argument's bunk, but I just wonder about it, especially with, you know, Moses in Egypt and the snake story and seeing the promised land from Jordan and, you know, yeah, I wish we could talk to Michael Jordan. I wish he'd reach out. I wish he'd be the one to break the silence. Who called you over there? July 6th, 201 days after the Pope's birthday. Why did Jordan cry? I mean, Jordan cried so hard at the Kobe thing, man. I think he was more sad about Kobe than his own dad. If Jordan did die at age 60 and Kobe died at 41, wouldn't it be like his last game that was synced up with Jordan's last game where Kobe scored 60 and the rest of the team scored 41, which adds up to 101, 60 plus 41. Philadelphia, first team to win the championship, where Kobe's from, where LeBron passed Kobe before he died, where Jordan finished his career, yada, 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 where the Warriors are originally from that drafted Kobe's dad that eventually passed Jordan. 678 special. If I didn't mention so, even the name Karl Malone equals 60. You just think about that with Utah. Okay. I think those are most of the main thoughts out there. And again, in the very near future, there will be 3 new short books out. They should all be done well before the end of the year. One on Kobe Bryant's death, along with Daryl Dawkins and Moses Malone, and where it ties in with the greater world narratives, why he was buried in Corona del Mar right before coronavirus, and how all this stuff comes together. And it's crazy how it all comes together, because it gets deeper, right? Like Moses was put in the river and floated down the river in the Bible because the leaders were killing the children of the land. And then you got, this jab that's, anyway, these topics are way bigger than just Jordan and Kobe, but it's trying to get people to see the game that's being played and who's playing the game. Who's puppeteering the game? Somebody's calling in real quick. Let me take a call. Hello? Hello?
Hey, I didn't want to interrupt your stream. Were you doing calls?
Well, I mean, every time I do a stream, I see your number ringing, so I'm picking up today. So what's up?
I just got to. Did you see the with all these sports rituals? There was a home explosion yesterday of Caleb Farley's father.
I covered that. That's in a video I put out yesterday.
And then we had the second NFL.
Hold on, let's just pause, because it sounds like you didn't see the video. So Caleb Farley's father's house supposedly exploded from a natural gas leak, and it just happened to be exactly 201 days after Joe Biden's administration put out their little policy kind of targeting natural gas that could get rid of a lot of natural gas appliances in people's homes. So that just happened to be 201 days later.
His birthday.
What is it?
71 days before his birthday.
Yeah, people want to check it out. Again, the address of the home that blew up was 292, and it blew up 292 days after Caleb Farley's birthday. So, I mean,
they're doing something with brawls in football practice. We had this 2 NFL football practices that ended up with brawls. The Redskins and the Ravens, and the Eagles and the Colts had an all-out brawl today. In fact, the Mark Andrews body slammed somebody with the Commanders and dislocated his shoulder while everybody's oohing and on. They're going to rig something up with football, I think.
Well, remember, we just had the racial brawl in Montgomery right after Trump was in town the day prior at hotel number 201. And then we had the ritual with New York and Atlanta, and the 4th indictment in the 4th state. And that was the day that the Braves smashed the Yankees 11-3 like the last election date on November 3rd, and they went to plus 201 in runs scored for the season, leading the league. So,
and then don't forget, we're gonna have the first ever person that died on a football field come back and fully functional, ready to play.
Well, they didn't say he died, right? But they said he had to be resuscitated. He was brought back to life, and then he came to the Super Bowl in his Jesus jacket.
And now he's good to go.
Yeah. And that was a nice number ritual itself. So, okay. Yeah.
People are asleep.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, if you guys don't follow my website, GematriaEffect.news, I am keeping up with everything else. Rudy Giuliani turns himself into the Fulton County Jail, which equals 88, like Trump on his 88th day of his age. What else is new? Just like how when he was the 107th mayor of New York, the World Trade Centers came down on his 107th day of his age, and then we invaded Afghanistan on 10/7. Remember, 2 towers became 0 before they became 1. Then we brought back all the opioids in Afghanistan, and then the world had an opioid crisis. And then Rudy Giuliani defended Big Pharma for the opioid crisis and supposedly kind of saved them from prosecution for many a years. And then when they finally got, Oxycontin under control, then fentanyl came out, which is even more hardcore, all part of the sick joke in this nation. And then fentanyl was approved the same year that 911 became the emergency dialing code and World Trade Center construction began. 68. The year the Club of Rome was established by the Rockefellers, only for Jay-Z with Rockefeller Records to put out the blueprint on 9/11/2001. But yeah, somebody caught a really awesome thing about Trump and his August 24th surrender and what it has to do with Pluto not being a planet that day. Again, people in the community are doing a lot of good research on what's going on. You might have heard about the shootout in Pittsburgh today in the Garfield neighborhood. Of course, James Garfield was one of the assassinated presidents in a 44 ritual, which are so common. So, everything we've been talking about lately. If you missed my videos from August 9th about the history of political assassinations, only for that day to end with an Ecuadorian presidential candidate assassination, can Ecuador establish 46 years after the U.S.? Around the time of number 46, Joe Biden elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Get in the year that LeBron became 4-6 in the finals. Used to go to that Catholic high school, did LeBron. Again, if you're missing out on all that stuff, you got to review. They're saying bring back out the masks. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah, I was just saying how they do rituals each year of going into Jordan's birthday. You see how Jordan's 26 and Michael's 33? Look at what they did with the Bulls. Again, we were able to roll a whole bunch of games with the Bulls again this year because they went into the All-Star break 26-33 at home, losing several straight games. Let me pull up the NBA and just show you guys how they do this stuff year after year. Jeez, what are we, back in the 90s? Where's the high-speed internet? Come on. Can't get that NBA thing to pull up. Chuck Norris joke still going on the internet. Okay. Well, anyway, if you go on ESPN and just go back to the calendar and look at Jordan's birthday, last couple seasons, you'll see exactly the rituals they did with his name and his gematria going into his date of birth. Okay. But yeah, also, again, just a reminder, Kobe Bryant Day, we're not going to do it because it's the middle of the week. We're going to wait till the season's out. We're going to have the short book. We're going to be super well prepared. And hopefully we're going to wake up a lot of people. And I would like to be down in LA at the Staples Center for some key Lakers games this year. And of course, definitely mark the date August 8th, 2024. That day, whether it's weekend or not, I really feel like we got to be there the day they unveil the Kobe Bryant statue and let it be known, what's going on in the world, 8/8/24, the new Kobe statue, the man who wore 8 and 24, numbers of the sun, does a figure 8 in the sky each year. Over the course of the year, 24 hours a day, Kobe dead on a Sunday, traveling from Catholic Mass, which began as a religion that worshiped the sun. The Son of God. God as a man. Athletes worshipped as gods. Man made in the 26th verse. Adam equals 26 like God. Man made a reflection of God. The word athlete is 26. Again, like Brian and Jordan. People ruling, they know that for a long time, humanity has worshipped and idolized people, especially greatness, athleticism. The Colosseum goes way back. It goes way back. Everything these people are doing goes way back. Terry Funk dead today at 79. Okay. Hold on. What time is it? I got to be done in a certain time. Terry Funk's a wrestler, huh? All right, we can take a look at that. Thank you for the heads up, Charisse. Appreciate the generosity. Osei, Karl Malone looks older than Jordan, also the same age. Yeah, he's got the 60 connection. Both big stars in the NBA. Karl Malone, obviously not as big of a star as Jordan, but a big star in his time. And he went up against Jordan in 2 finals. Jordan releasing the Air Jordan 38 sneaker in a couple days on 8/25. Really? Man, Kobe died exactly 38 weeks after his wife. Again, death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38. The Jordan 38. Another party's like, there's only 38 of them. I guess he does so many re-releases of sneakers and the Jordan 38. When's the 39 supposed to come out? Do they have the 39 announced yet? Nike officially introduces the Air Jordan 38. Yeah, I feel like I want to go back and see how that was announced on July 1st. July 1st, just like the day LeBron went to the Lakers. Date that's written 1/7, like how we said that date when I'm the 17th championship in his 17th season in the 17 league. That was right before he was in Italy. He's in Italy 5 days later. Let me just see. From his last birthday, February 17th. Remember, and Marum Dei Gloriam Jesuit motto is 172. That was 134 days after his birthday, 19 weeks in a day. And let's see, November 3rd, 125 days. 125 is a big numerology number. 134 is a number that does relate to disasters in history. Phrases like the Jesuits are 134. But yeah, it's the 38 thing that's, again, fateful number 38. Very fateful. Jordan 38, August 25th. Can we find that? Just trying to find. All right, release date August 25th. Release date August 25th. That's looking pretty correct. Yeah, everyone seems to have that. August 25th. Well, we know Number of the Beast. Right out Number of the Beast. It's got that 258. It's also got that 87, like what was scored in his last game. Order of Illuminati's got that 258 and that 201. So 25/8. And that's the 237th day of the year. Like how his father's name was 237, died on 23/7. August 25th. It's 10 weeks before that November 3rd game. And from his last birthday, it's 27 weeks after his last birthday. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, the number 38. When did the 37 come out? How often do these shoes come out? I'm not a shoe guy like that. So the 37 came out this year too on January 19th. So the Air Jordan 39, they got that one announced yet? Air Jordan Spring 2023 release date. Looks like we don't have any announcement for the 39s, but if the 37 came out in January, so about every 7 months. Well, I don't know if that's true. Air Jordan 36 shoe release date. When was that? July. Oh, came out July 6th, 2022. 201 days after the Pope. If that's right. I'm seeing different dates on different spots. But July would have been about 7 months before the 37, so maybe that's how it is. 7 months about between shoes. Well, that can't be right, though. Otherwise, you'd have more pairs of shoes. Anyway, I guess it's just the thing that the 38 is out. The fact that the 38 is out. That's curious. Thank you again. From April 16th to November 3rd is 201 days later. April 16th, the anniversary of his last game. Yeah, good point. Thank you. That's interesting. Zach, when Texas school shooting happened, you said something could happen 8/26 with Biden or gun law. Any updates? Yeah, I did. I talked about it during the Nashville shooting, and we've been talking about how 8/26 seems to also be connected to the Maui thing because they coded 1,127s in that, and August 26th leaves 127 days left in the year. If Oppenheimer were alive, it would also be his 127th day of his age, and they just put out that film on Oppenheimer on 7/21, which is 127 in reverse. But yeah, I still expect some kind of big story August 26th, which will be this Saturday. I mean, sometimes the weekends are slower with the news cycle, but it does feel like they're pointing to something with that August 26th day. We talked about that during the Nashville shooting. Thank you, Gematria Sense. The Rudy Giuliani video is on Gematria Effect News 25. So if you're watching on another channel, again, Gematria Effect News 25 is my main channel. You could be watching on Gematria Effect News 22 right now, which I don't use that much. Lately, I've been posting a good deal on there, but 25 has been the main channel for a long time, for over a year. And Gematria Effect Sports. Seems like I've actually been able to kind of reactivate the algorithm in my favor for that channel. I wasn't able to get any views on that channel, but now pounding the Maui stuff, some videos actually got some views on there. So maybe I'll start using sports more. But thank you. And shout out to Nathan. He says CEO of Nike, John Joseph Donahoe II, has the 101 and 88. I gotta look at Phil Knight, though, always the founder. His birthday is April 30th in the year 60. Might be worth noting. That's the 120th day of the year, too. He's also got the 127. Here, let's do Phil Knight, though. Phil Knight's who goes back with Nike, and Phil Knight went to Cleveland High School in Portland, out where Nike is. They did the Kobe Memorial on Phil Knight's birthday. Phil Knight was born in 38. He's 85 right now. Big basketball number, like, again, Michael's wife's born on the 85th day of the year. But hold up. February 24th, 2023 to the date in question, November 3rd. 252 days, or it would be his 253rd day of his age, the 22nd triangular number. That was big yesterday for Verlander. Yesterday, Verlander got his 253rd career win on the 22nd over Boston, the 22 city. Beautiful day in baseball yesterday. Hit a grand slam yesterday in baseball with the rigging. But hold on. Let's see. Congrats to the winner. Says artist Russ may be on the demise. Zach, look at his numbers. I also plan on buying multiple copies of Kobe book to hand out. I appreciate that. Artist Russ. Is that a musician? Russell James Vitale. Is that who we're talking about? A 30-year-old out of New Jersey? I don't know if that's who we're talking about. Is he famous? I've never heard of him. But I imagine you're saying that because of the whole Russia thing. And again, the shooting on the set of Rust of the Ukrainian woman by the guy who portrays Trump, who says if he were in office, it would have never happened. All these big games. Again, Alec Baldwin shot the Ukrainian woman 201 days after his birthday, right as Russia-Ukraine breaks out in the big 201 ritual. Okay. But yeah, I guess also just apologies for not being in LA on Kobe Bryant Day. I would like to be there tomorrow. It's just I know middle of the week has not been successful. And also my writing assignment that I wanted to get done, it's not finished. But in a way, I'm glad. Well, I'm just happy that in researching this, we've connected a lot more dots, and I understand all of this stuff way better than I ever have before. And we understood it really well when we were out there in April, but now I feel like my April knowledge of the Kobe Bryant death was just, it was it was lacking compared to what it is now, really connecting the dots. And what's sad is by the time the book's out there and available, I might already have to do the follow up with Jordan. Might already have to do the follow up bonus chapter with MJ. I hope not. But that's what it is in this world of rigged sports and ritual murder. And, the last time this work took off was 2016, 2017, back then when we could actually get views. It was laying out why Prince could die in the near future in light of Vanity's death, the day of the Grammys. And when that happened, the work grew tremendously. We also nailed every sports future in 2016 from the start of the year. But, that was the year that this work got on the map, and it had to do with sports and Colin Prince's death. And again, Prince's death factors in with all this stuff. Like we said, Tupac, all this stuff, all these deaths over the years, these suspicious deaths, these premature deaths. It's this Jesuit Illuminati cabal pulling the strings on it by the numerical code, which is identifiable when you have the knowledge. So we'll leave it there for now. I got TFR tonight. TFR, it'll be on Gematria Effect News 25. It's every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Do the math on your time zone if you're between the West and East Coast. But that's the call-in show. And got more on what's going on with Jordan. Notice anything else about this Jordan thing we're looking at? Him being in Italy at this age, in light of what we know, 201 days after the Pope's birthday. If you got any other observations, that'd be a good call tonight. Tonight, we're also going to be talking about, on TFR, the deaths of the hero of the World Cup. She scored the winning goal only to find out her father had died after the game. And again, on the same day her father died is the same day Lil Baby, or excuse me, not Lil Baby, what's his name? Black Youngsta. They all got these names. Da Baby, Lil Baby, Youngsta, Lil. Black Youngsta, at age 33, loses his third brother. And again, we're going to go back to his Illuminati album and his 223 album. We talked about the 223 thing in this video with the wife of Jordan. But we're going to talk about those albums in light of the deaths of his brothers. And we called this years ago. So, again, it's all part of the same pattern. Why this same stuff keeps happening by the same code repetitively over and over. It's not about, I'm going to mark down if Jordan dies on November 3rd, and if not, it's all bullshit. If that's your mindset, that just means you're a mental midget. That means you're a short bus rider. Again, we're already identifying why Jordan's father died the day he did. Kobe, Moses Malone, Daryl Dawkins, how it's all part of this story. And you know what else? I just thought about one more thing I'm going to cover before I leave this. Let's look up Ben Wilson. Ben Wilson, 1984, the year Jordan came in the league. Ben Wilson was killed, and then the street was named after where he was killed 38 years later. There's that 38 in death. This just happened recently. Ben Wilson was supposed to be this big basketball star, and then he just gets killed at a young age. 38 years later, they named the street after him. So, the year that Jordan was drafted, the Bulls went 38-44. 38-44, right? Jordan 38 just came out. LeBron signed the lifetime contract with Nike while Nike was 44 years old. But the Bulls became 7-6 on the day Ben Wilson died. Michael Jordan equals 76. We know he was in Rome by the numbers on 7-6 this year. So the day that Ben Wilson died, the Bulls became 7-6 in Jordan's rookie season. Then the street was named after him while Michael Jordan was 59 years old. Michael Jordan, 59 the other way, right? Just like how we covered. Michael Jordan, 59-76. Numbers that have to do with slavery, biblical, slave 59 and 76. Ephesians 6, 5 through 9. Acts 76. Ben Wilson was shot November 20th. That's Joe Biden's birthday, 277 days after Jordan's February 7th birthday, the 59th prime. You know, Biden also won the 59th presidential election, synced up with Pope Francis, who's Mr. 59, where Pope Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for him. But again, Biden connected to Obama, who's connected to Chicago, like Jordan. That might not be an accident, or it could be coincidental. I'm just pointing it out. Joe Biden is the president right now. And he's definitely part of this Illuminati 201 network. Sacrificed his wife, daughter, and son in 201 rituals. Donald Trump burying his wife on the 201st day of last year, his ex-wife. The name Ben Wilson's another 113. Ben Wilson, 113. You know, it's like only so many 113s could be on the stage. They had to choose. Michael, got Michael. You know, a few years they got to get ready for Kobe. I guess Ben's out. We name tested it. Ben Wilson doesn't test as well as Michael Jordan. Sorry, Ben. Again, November 21st was the day. And that day, the Bulls played at Milwaukee. Close game, right? Milwaukee and Chicago not far apart. 98-108 was the score. Jordan was drafted on June 19th, huh? The real King James's birthday. I think I was overlooking that before. Ben Wilson was shot November 20th and died November 21st. He was shot exactly 22 weeks after Jordan was drafted, basketball 22. He was shot with a 22. So, yeah, just, you know, number patterns. Benjamin Wilson Jr. Let me just go back and see the full name real quick. Benjamin Wilson, like that's 83. He's got that 188 like Bavarian Illuminati. Again, you had these ritual murders on 18/8, including Black Youngster's brother on 18. Black Youngster's brother died on August 18th. Big Bavarian Illuminati number. And again, he had the album Illuminati. His name's 71 and 100, like African American. But yeah, it's always been death and killing around these leagues and rituals. And what are the odds? So yeah, I think I got all the main points in there. And again, you guys gave me some more research to do. Terry Funk. Hold on, I'll take a look at the Terry Funk thing real quick. Terry Funk, born June 30th, dead August. They took away the date, so maybe it's uncertain if he died today or on an earlier day. But the news is breaking today. Today's 54 days after June 30th, the day the news breaks. Terrence Funk's got that 67 in it, like blood sacrifice. Fateful number. Again, Jordan in Italy on the date that could be 6-7. Terry Funk's got this 138-48. Big numbers in Atlanta and Fulton County with Donald Trump and just all that being in the headlines. Donald Trump connected to the history of the WWE. The only president who's ever wrestled in the WWE, Donald Trump. But, yeah, I'd have to do a proper decode, get the dates. 79, fateful age. In a way, you're blessed to make it to 79, but also a fateful number. A lot of suspicion around that 79. Words like murderer, 79, and Society of Jesus, which is a cult known for performing ritual murder and worse. I mean, the Jesuits have been accused of murder for a long time. The Society of Jesus is the Jesuits. Wolves in sheep's clothing, they say. So. But yeah, you guys, plans to finish this year big. Get these books finished. Get this knowledge out there. Get it in more people's hands than ever. And create a spark that needs to happen, man. People got to wake up. People got to realize their priority on the weekend isn't to go sit and watch other people play a sport game. It's to get out there with other people and wake people up to what's going on in this nation. You know, ritual murder's part of it. How about what they just did to Maui with the blowtorch winds, like they keep saying? And we know why they keep saying blowtorch. So that's the plan. LA Kobe Bryant Day postponed, but we're going to get it right. And we're going to go down there on the right day. Weekends are always better than weekdays. And yeah, there's going to be some nice gatherings this year in LA, just like we had back in April, and in other parts of California, and should be even more impactful than it was then. All right, True Seeker, we'll leave it there for now, and until next time.